This is Don't Panic, episode number 266, recorded February 10th, 2020. The Talkin' Pictures. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on gadgets, the internet, and other things as well. I am Sean Jennings, joined as always by a man who lays awake at night fearing the great molasses flood. It is Colby Rabidou. Hello, Colby.
You joke, but for real.
One of my favorite pieces of Boston history.
I think I need to learn more about it. I wonder if there's a museum or something.
Like a memorial, like some kind of statue somewhere. I mean, it killed 21 people, so the Boston Molassacre, as it's sometimes known, January of 1919, when a large storage tank filled with molasses burst, resulting in a wave of molasses rushing through the streets at an estimated 35 miles per hour, killing 21 and injuring 150.
Oh my God. Have you seen the pictures of this?
It's absolutely. I'll put it up on the screen here. It's like it sounds stupid, but then you're like, oh shit, that actually like screwed people up. Like,
right.
It's kind of funny, but it's not.
If it was just called like the Great Flood, you wouldn't think you would have the correct reaction, I think. But molasses makes it seem silly.
Well, here, this is a quote from the Boston Post report of the event. Quote, "Molasses, waist deep, covered the street and swirled and bubbled about the wreckage. Here and there struggled to form. Whether it was an animal or human being was impossible to tell. Only an upheaval, a thrashing about in the sticky mass showed where any life was. Horses died like so many flies on sticky flypaper. The more they struggled, the deeper in the mess they were ensnared. Human beings, men and women, suffered likewise."
Oh, God.
So, a very unpleasant way to go, apparently.
Sounds truly horrific. I'm gonna have to go check my local tanks to see what's in them.
Yeah, let's area today. Oh, there's a little plaque.
Oh, there you go. Is it on the Freedom Trail?
Let's see. Do you know where Polo Park is?
Can you spell it for me?
Oh, or Langone Park?
Langone Park.
It's a waterfront park in the North End.
I think I do, yeah.
Because that's the site where it was, and there's a plaque called the Boston Molasses.
Oh, I know where this park is. I've never been to it. I feel like from the looks of it, it's correct. My suspicion is correct, but it's like there's like baseball fields there and stuff.
Yep, you're exactly right.
Yeah. So I know I've been by, that graveyard. Oh, yeah. A friend of mine lives on Foster Street, which is right around the corner.
There you go.
Well, I'll check it out and report back.
A little piece of American history.
Yeah. Yep. I Googled the Boston molasses flood, and it took me to an Atlas Obscura recipe. I'm not recipe.
Making something with
article.
molasses.
Yeah. But the last thing I read about on Atlas Obscura was canned cheese. Have you ever heard of this, Sean?
Oh gosh, I've heard of canned cheeseburgers, but I've never heard of canned cheese.
So apparently, I think it's I'm going to look this up now because I think it's interesting. It's like the University of Washington or something. During one of the wars, the like World War II or
the good
something.
War, yeah.
Right, the one that people aren't upset about. They were trying to come up with a way to make cheese not keep for longer and be more durable, I guess, because they needed to ship it. So they came up with a way to make cheese in a can. And apparently so you get this cheese in a can. It doesn't really go bad. Apparently it ages very well and lasts forever and is supposed to be super good. So I just I bought 2 cans of this cheese, but they're huge they're 30 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Cougar Gold. That's what the cheese is called.
Yeah, it's from Washington State University.
Yes. I impulse bought two 30-ounce cans of cheese, and I don't know what I'm
Damn.
gonna do with them, so I'm just gonna leave them in my fridge.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, it was a weird
That
impulse
looks
buy.
so unpleasant.
Yeah, right. It doesn't look super appetite. It's like cranberry sauce, right? It comes out of the can, and it was in a can. It like is shaped like the can.
But it's what bothers me is this quote from Atlas Obscura. According to Culture, a magazine devoted to cheese, the scientist behind it, quote, altered the microbial environment enough to create an entirely new cheese. Crumbly and nutty, yet creamy on the palate, milky sweet with gently dissipating sharpness. The phrase entirely new cheese is very worrisome. Because I feel confident in saying we had enough cheeses.
I mean, there are a lot. How do you feel about like apples? Like they're always creating new apples.
But that's not cool. Did you know the story of the Grapple?
The Grapple?
The Grapple? I don't know if they ever actually. Oh, okay, so they did sell it. I know they talked about it. Yeah, so you can buy it. What they do is they take apples and they inject the flavor of grapes into them.
Like with a syringe?
So here we go. How is a Grapple made? We start with the freshest Washington Extra Fancy Gala or Fuji apples. These premium apples have been specially selected. Using a special patented process, we combine concentrated grape flavor with pure water, then gently bathe the apples in this delicious grape mixture.
I see. So it's like an apple grape infusion.
Exactly, but they're apples that taste like grapes. Who wants that?
Well, now I want to try it.
I don't even know where you buy them, to be honest, because I've only ever heard like them as like a crazy thing that exists.
I mean, if I can buy it online, I'm going to do it.
And according to this, the process does not add one bit of extra sugar, calories, or carbohydrates. Very odd. The wonders of food science. So, no, I do think there are too many apples, and I don't know what people are thinking. Stop it with the apples.
It seems dubious. Oh, they have a website. Grapplefruits.com, Sean.
Hell yeah, man. Let's chow down on some grapples. The problem is when you Google grapple, it's more about wrestling moves than it is the grape-flavored apple.
How do you make them? Are they? This didn't help me at all. There's no order form. I guess it's the problem.
It's an externally flavored fruit product.
Weird.
Gross. But I am a big novelty food guy. Like, I will try the zany flavors of stuff.
Yeah. So the corner store across the street from my apartment is like, I wouldn't say it's good. Like I'm pretty sure most of the things in there, if not like fully expired, are like about to expire. Like anything you buy there is about to expire. But they have so much stuff.
Yep.
Like there are shelves like 12 feet high and they're just packed with stuff. And it's like everything. There's a whole corner of this corner store that is just like floor to ceiling kinds of like the instant cup like ramen noodles. But they have a lot of wacky snacks. There's a lot of like Japanese like shrimp flavored things, and
that's what's weird to me is when people show up with like bags of snacks with no English writing on them, and I'm like, A, where did you get that? And B, it kind of just tastes a lot like salt. Like those snacks are always just like really salty, which I'm not complaining.
Right.
But that is usually a trademark feature.
Do you think that's what our snacks taste like too?
I can't imagine, because I feel like, you know, when you do talk about like the crazy Japanese snacks, you're like, do like Lay's potato chips seem really lame? But they seem lame to me, so.
Right. Maybe it's like their snacks have flavors that we just don't understand, so it reads as salty. Like our palate's not refined enough.
It's also one of those things though where it's like, you know, in Canada, like ketchup flavored potato chips are big, or pickled potato chips, but it's like, are they big there? Like are the weird Japanese snacks actually big in Japan? Or is it one of those things like a dare that just exists to be crazy? I don't know.
Right. It's hard to say.
I mean, I like to think America, probably the most notable American snack are probably those really loud Sun Chip bags. That's what comes to my mind. That's very American.
Didn't they get rid of those bags though because they were too loud?
They did, but the old bags are still pretty loud.
They're pretty loud.
They're weirdly loud for a snack bag.
Man. Sean, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these cheese. I'm gonna go get one of the oops. I'm gonna go get one of these bags of cheese and show you how big it is.
Oh no. All right, go ahead.
It's a can, it's not a bag.
Oh my god. Well, Kobe goes and gets his giant bag of cheese, his can. Thanks everybody watching us live right now at facebook.com/Don't Panic Show. We do the show Monday nights live about 10:15 Eastern. If you're watching live, make sure to comment. We're watching in the chat room here.
Look.
Oh my god!
It's huge. It's not like quite a Wegmans wheel of cheese, but it's very
and you
large.
got 2 of them.
Right, I got 2. Well, one. I figured I'd eat one and I'd keep one for years and see how it goes.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it's very dense. It's like 30 ounces. It's what, 2 pounds?
So I'm officially announcing a GoFundMe to pay Colby to eat one of those cans entirely in one sitting, and see how much money we can raise to get him to do it.
Gross. I have to try the cheese first to see if it's bad.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go put this away.
Okay.
Be right back.
Folks, you got to go to youtube.com/Don't Panic Show and check out the video version for that, because, boy, is that a big can of cheese. Whoo, boy. That is a big old can of cheese, I'll tell you. Cannot even imagine what it tastes like. But, anyhow.
Anywho. Snacks. Am I right?
Snacks. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. Can't live without them. When I was in Vegas, all I wanted were snacks, and everything was. I literally got back to my hotel room after running to and from the airport. We packed up the whole trade show thing. We'd just gone crazy all day. I didn't even have any alcohol, and all I wanted was something to drink. And all in the hotel room they had was a $9 bottle of Fiji water. And I said, "This is outrageous. I'm not going to pay $9 for Fiji water." So I go down to they have a little convenience store down in Caesar's Palace in the hotel. And so instead of a $9 Fiji water, I bought a $4 can of sparkling water, which I guess is better.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, you're getting more. It's not just water. It has sparkles in it.
And then the worst part was, now you know me, Colby. I don't really usually get angry, especially not at retail situations. I'm very patient. I'm very patient. There was a man and a woman in front of me who were clearly some sort of very rich Eastern European type. And this guy was arguing with the cashier about some cigars he was trying to buy, whether or not they were Cuban. Now, I wanted to buy one $4 can of water. And it went on and on. And I was getting so pissed off. I must have looked like I was fuming. And finally, I think the woman next to her at the counter finally realized, and I was holding up the can shit, just
help me.
I almost just walked out with it, or just slapped money on the counter and I don't care. I'm leaving. I was so pissed for the most stupid conversation. Well, the place that made the cigars, they used to be in Cuba, but now they're in Venezuela, but they still use Cuban ingredients, so it's kind of still Cuban cigars. And the guy's like, but it's not made in Cuba, and I'm like, it's a goddamn cigar. Who cares? I'm dying here.
Wow. That's the story of Las Vegas, I guess, right?
Yeah, basically.
Did you win big?
I doubled my money at the blackjack table. I had a great time at the blackjack table. I did really well. Although I did sit at a table where it was me and 3 other smokers, and I was getting really.
Speaking of fuming.
Yeah, the dealer was not happy. I was not happy, but I did actually pretty well, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun. The trick was, and I learned this because I went with some experienced Vegas people, is all the good casinos, the minimum tables are $25 a hand, which is way too much. But if you go to the shittier casinos, it's $10 a hand. That's where the fun is. Because then you don't really care as much, and you have a good time.
Right. You can play for a little while.
Oh, yeah. We were there for a couple hours. It was great.
That's cool. Had you ever played table casino games like that?
Nope. No, never. That was my first time. And then the group I was with was big into they were big into craps, which they tried to teach me, and I was immediately like, You guys play this, I'm going to the blackjack table because I don't even want to try to learn because it was bananas.
Craps is not the one with the ball, right?
Craps is the one with the dice.
The dice.
Snake eyes when you throw the dice. Yeah, no, roulette is the one with the ball.
Right.
No, but the thing about craps is there are like 18 different ways you can bet, and you have to like, and all of them kind of work differently. So you've kind of got to know a ton,
right,
to actually place it, and then you have to like put the bets on the table in certain places, and if you screw it up, it screws everything up. So there's a lot of pressure.
That sounds like the kind of stress that I don't enjoy.
Some people like it. Like I said, the group I was with was having a blast, but they had done it for a long time. So
right, I guess that's the thing. It seems hard to get started.
Oh, absolutely, and I was immediately like, not my game.
Right, you got to watch a lot of YouTube videos first or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Craps.
Yep.
Do you have to yell craps at any point?
I
like,
should
is
have
one
done
of
that.
the things craps?
Well, there is a thing, because you have to throw the dice, and you have to throw the dice a certain distance. So if you throw it too short, it doesn't count. And you can also, like, bounce it up off the table, which I saw happen a couple times. And I'm like, that would be the ultimate embarrassment, is you chuck the dice and they go halfway across the casino, and you're, oops, craps!
Yeah. There's a bar near here that has ping pong in the bar, which it sounds fun, but in practice, there are ping pong balls everywhere. They're flying every which way.
For drinking.
Yeah. Bad combination.
Like even shuffleboard, I have a hard time with, and that's much safer.
That's true. Like
what would be the worst bar, like game/sport?
Darts.
Okay, which is ironic because that is a bar game.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like badminton would probably be a terrible.
Yeah, swinging things around.
Yeah, or volleyball, any of those.
Volleyball would be really bad. I mean, axe throwing seems pretty bad.
Yeah, that is one.
Bocce, that's a thing that exists.
Yep. Gonna get someone's toes crushed. Or like water polo would probably be a very bad one to have at a bar.
Yeah, that would be complicated.
Very physical.
Yeah. I can't think of any more.
It probably would have been easier to say things that are good to play at a bar.
Right.
Like,
cards.
Cards. Yes, exactly. Very simple things. Chess.
Poker.
Hey, there you go.
Classic bar entertainment. At least in the Westerns.
Yes, exactly. They don't do it like, you gotta have the player piano and the lady with the frilly skirt dancing on top of the counter. And
Yep. The good old days.
They don't make them like that anymore, I tell you.
Nope. Well, speaking of not making him like that anymore, want to talk about some tech news?
Oh, boy, we sure can, Colby. We have some stories here in the rundown. A little quiet this time of year, and actually it's going to be the story isn't in the rundown because it's not really a single story, but normally we have Mobile World Congress in a couple weeks, which is the big phone show. Unfortunately, all the companies dropped out of it because of the coronavirus. So it's going to be a quiet Mobile World Congress this year. Nobody wanted to go to Barcelona. So, because most of these companies are based in China. So,
yeah, I guess that's true.
So
that's dark.
Everyone's pretty much dropped out. So who knows what announcements we'll have moving forward. But we do have a few stories in here, Colby. I don't know if there's any particular one. I scraped the bottom of the barrel for these, but we've got them, gosh darn it.
When I said they don't make them like they used to, I was looking at the classic 1896 short film gets upscaled to 4K using neural networks.
Well, you kind of just revealed the whole story. I don't even get to read anything about it. No, that's okay. Yeah, this is a great story. It's not really like one we would normally cover, but I just think it's really neat and it looks cool. The arrival of a train at the station. You remember the old famous thing where, one of the first films they ever showed was the train coming at the scream and people ran away because they thought the train was real. This is the video. This is the actual video where that story comes from. It's just a very short video of a train coming at the screen that was shot in 1896. It's a silent film of a train pulling into a station, while a user on Reddit upscaled that footage to 4K, brought the frame rate up to 60 frames per second, and even added sound. And my God, this thing looks so cool. It really does look like it was shot, today.
Yeah.
I'll put
I'm
it on the
watching it
screen
right
here.
now. It's pretty cool.
I guess part of it was upscaled via neural networks, or I don't know how he did it. Computers made it real, but I just think not only does this clip look neat, but it really does give you an idea of what we can do with old, bad-looking things. I don't know. In watching you see old photos or even old film of like people from this era, and you're like, they look silly. But then when you actually see them like moving around in real time at real speed, you're kind of like, oh shit, like they actually did wear this stuff, and like this actually is their life. Like it does bring it to a level of reality that specifically from the sort of black and white era you don't really see.
Yeah, and I feel like normally old films are weird and like choppy, kind of. Maybe that's the word. And
Yeah.
this is like, I feel like that must have been a part of the thing that they did, but like this is not weird or choppy at all. Like they're moving like normal people. So strange. So strange. I don't understand, like, is the thing on screen?
Is it on my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's playing. I don't understand, like, the doors to this train. How there's
That's
a
what
door.
you took away?
Yeah. Well, they opened all the doors and I was like, wait, why aren't my trains like that? I want to get out of the train at any point.
Where every row has its own doors?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. It's probably very difficult to take tickets that way, I would think.
Mm-mm. Or like,
but I guess that's kind of like the T or like any kind of like public transit.
Yeah. It's probably like I bet it's not great safety wise too when your train is going very fast. Fast as our trains go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably this train really is hustling in this of course back then it was steam, and I don't know how much control they actually had over the speed for all I know.
It had an on or off switch.
I feel like this train is going to Westworld or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I hope they do this with we shouldn't certainly erase the old films, but I hope they do this with more stuff because I think it is a really cool look.
Nice. Well, that's all I have to say about that.
There really isn't much more to say, so I think that's completely fair.
Cool. Apple enables universal purchases for Mac and iOS apps.
Let's give it up for a misleading headline. They didn't actually... I can't tell... I don't think they actually enabled it. It was spotted in the Xcode beta by a developer. One of those Apple things where the beta gave it away. If developers choose to enable it, customers who buy the Mac App Store version will also get on their iOS devices and vice versa. The exact language used in Xcode is Xcode 11.4 supports building and distributing Mac OS apps as universal purchases. Universal purchase is enabled by default for new Mac Catalyst apps created. Yeah.
Well, I feel like there are some apps that I feel like it would have been nice to get them on all the things. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if this will be retroactively activated for apps you've already purchased or not, which I assume the developer will have the ability to do. Not necessarily will want to do because they'll want to make money, but...
Yeah. All I really want is Overcast on my Mac. I want the Overcast thing just like in a little wrapper that I can click on.
Yes. That would be great.
And
that was sort of the idea with... we talked about when 10.15 Catalina came with Catalyst, the Catalyst apps, which we talked about previously on the show. And the idea that by unifying some of the code and some of the technology through AppKit, that they'll be able to better share apps between the different OSs. And this seems to be a step in that direction.
Right. Well, it sounds cool. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready whenever they are.
no word on when this will officially be available. I would think soon, because if it's in the beta, they can't be that far away from bringing it to reality. Like I said, the question is going to be how many apps actually support it. You know,
Right.
will you have to update your apps to certain things to enable it?
Right. Who knows?
Yep. There's a lot we don't know, but it's definitely cool.
Definitely cool.
Definitely cool.
Nice.
Short little story there. Let's see. What's next? We're just really delivering the hard-hitting news here.
I picked 2, Sean. Now it's
Oh, dang. Making me do work. All right, I'll share this Netflix story. Netflix now allows users to disable those auto-playing, what do you call it? The autoplay preview feature, that while you're browsing the sort of album art of the show starts auto-playing a little clip of the show or whatever. You can disable autoplay now in 2 different formats. The one that automatically starts the next episodes, sort of the traditional autoplay, but also the one that autoplays previews while browsing. Yeah, that's basically the whole story. But I will say I absolutely, with every fiber of my being, I don't really care about the play next episode thing. But man, those autoplaying previews when you were scrolling,
yeah,
painful.
Like, I will accept an autoplaying preview if I click into something.
Right.
But not when I'm scrolling. Also, because the Apple TV app is so effing bad. Like, I don't know, maybe it's better now, but for the longest time they clearly had a memory leak, because like you would scroll, you get like 2 lists down and it would crash or like just stop working.
Yeah, the Roku app was not a ton better.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I would it was a bad experience because I would scroll as quickly as possible. Like I could not stay on anything for more than like 3 seconds or it would start playing.
Right.
And so I'd be like, quickly, tick, 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 tick. It was...
Yeah.
It wasn't great. And I'm trying to think if there was ever... I mean, at some points I did find it useful because if it was something I was curious about, I guess I think they just needed a longer grace period before it started playing. Because if it was like, I want to see the preview, but I don't want to click, like make it 5 seconds or 7 seconds, like make it a little longer. But I guess you're right. I could have clicked into it to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I definitely use it sometimes, but I don't know if I want it or if I just have accepted that it's going to happen.
Well, and it's really bad for non-Netflix originals, because Netflix original, they like edit nice little packages together. When it's just like a generic movie,
right.
It's just like a random selection of clips with like royalty-free stock music under it. It's very weird.
Yep. It's so weird.
And it's like, it's not really a preview. It's like, those have got to be machine generated. Like they literally just take random sections of the film and shove music under them. Those I really hate.
I have more than once been trapped in like one of those will start and I'll watch and I'm like I keep watching because I'm expecting like it to get somewhere and it never does because it's just a garbage like scene.
Yep.
So weird.
But there's something about it where it's like, oh, I just rewatch, like a movie you've seen before, and you see the clips, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, that was a good movie, and then you just click to the next thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thanks for the reminder, Netflix.
Weird. I'm totally disabling these when I get off
yes, as soon as possible.
ASAP.
So my former boss, Sam Everett, very nice man, has been watching the show on Facebook Live, and he texted me. He says, is the cheese Cougar Gold from Washington State University? He says, stuff is good and has been packed in cans since World War II.
It is. That's the same Cougar Gold.
So there you go. You got one reference that says it's good.
Yeah.
But he's also a real Boy Scout kind of guy, so I think he would eat just about anything in a can. So I don't know if you want to trust his judgment, but
I mean, I could see how canned cheese would be useful if you were going out into the
well,
wilderness.
yeah, not in a can that big. That's gonna wait unless that's like all you bring and subside on for a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd imagine it goes bad faster once you open it.
Would you open it?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Probably just keep it shut. Well, there was as I was reading about it online during the show here, it said that there was a can from like 1987 they opened a couple years ago and ate and said it was good. So
Yeah, that was in the article I read. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I can hold on to a can of cheese for like 10 years.
Oh, now that's
20,
a
2030 cheese challenge.
My boss says no, it's actually good and not a scout thing. So there you go. Don't you love being live? Let's pivot over to another story here, and I want to talk about this one and our love of the future of technology, which is foldable phones. Clearly, just taken over the world by storm. There was a great, unrelated to this, but there was a great CNET got a hold of a folding testing machine that like Motorola or whoever would use to test the phones and just bend it. And they put the Motorola one, the Razr, we talked about it on the show, they put it in the folding machine. Motorola was like, oh, you can do it like 100,000 times and you'll be fine. I think they got to like 27,000 before it crapped out.
No.
It was a really not a good video for Motorola. But one interesting thing here is Samsung tomorrow, actually, so we may have news on this next week, has their keynote where they're supposed to launch a bunch of new stuff. There's a smart home speaker, some earbuds. As with Samsung, they've all leaked already, so there's the Galaxy S20, so there's no surprise in what's being announced.
20.
It leaked so aggressively that the Galaxy Z Flip, a foldable phone that has not been announced yet, was in a commercial during the Oscars last night. Now, again, this phone has not been officially announced. We don't know anything about it. But, and in this Verge article, I'll play it for the folks watching, the ad that played last night that shows off the foldable screen, and sort of the pitch in the ad is video chat is what they really highlight a lot of, using the foldable as, one part of it is kind of propped up with the face on it, which is one of the few good uses of foldable phones I've actually seen. So credit to Samsung for that.
Right. So you can not pay attention to the people you're talking to virtually, just like you would the people you talk to in real life.
Exactly. But what's interesting about this phone in particular is that, and what we can see of it in the sort of example is that, with the Samsung and even with the Motorola and the Samsung Fold before it, the sort of idea was it had a screen on the outside that provided limited information, and then you'd open it up to reveal a bigger screen. But what's interesting about this is there basically is no outer screen. There's like a little teeny tiny display that basically just shows you the time. But otherwise, it's just like a regular Samsung Galaxy phone just folded in half.
Weird.
And to that I say, what? Huh? Like I get the advantage of like, oh, okay, sometimes you want a small screen and sometimes you want a big screen. But this is just like, I never once had my regular phone and was like, I want this phone exactly as it is today, except folded in half. Really the caller ID thing is the video chat thing was the only thing where I'm like, all right, I guess if you could prop it up on its own, but otherwise, like, why?
Can you imagine having to like take it out of your pocket and unfold it to see? Like that wasn't even a thing you had to do with flip phones.
Right, exactly. They had caller ID on the front, and and I'm like, that's, and then it, again with like the Samsung Fold, what was cool about it was it opened up to like a mini tablet, like it was bigger than a regular phone. Oh, all right, that's cool. Like, and the Razr's kind of a novelty. Okay, oh, yeah, that's cool. And this is like, it's just a regular phone. It's like you made a thing that has been developed over the last decade to be a basically perfect device with very few failure points, and you managed to introduce a giant variable that is almost guaranteed to not work.
Oh, it does look like in the video, I'm watching the video, it does look like there's a tiny like LCD screen at the bottom.
Is. Like big enough for a word.
Right, right. So you get your not 2000s flip phone caller ID there.
Yes.
It's weird.
It's just it's. I mean, it is a very Samsung device. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah.
But I get the sales pitch for some of the other foldable phones. I'm dying to know how they pitch this.
It's kind of interesting. I'm just watching this video over and over again. It reminds me of like a makeup case.
Yes.
Like you look at that's how I feel like that's what they're going for in this ad kind of, because it's like I'm intrigued. I'm more intrigued than you are, Sean.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna make a novelty phone, like just then make a like go the full distance and just make a novelty phone.
Right.
But again, the one pitch for this I've seen, which is the 90-degree sort of prop up phone thing, you could also do with a little pop out stand on the back of the phone. Like much easier to solve. There's also apparently there was also a great small print. It's hard to tell in the Twitter version here, but there's a small print for the ad that says, "You may notice a small crease in the center of the main screen, which is a natural characteristic of the screen." So yes, there will be a crease in the screen itself.
Brutal.
I don't know. Maybe we'll be wrong, and this thing will be a huge hit. But I don't.
Could be.
I don't believe it.
I mean, we're pretty out of touch with the youths.
With what the kids are. Oh, they're going to be Snapchatting and Tindering and whatever it is the kids are doing.
Right. TikTok.
TikTok all the times. TikTok the whole clock. So they're going to be doing it. I don't. Vining. Do the kids still Vine?
I don't think
do
so.
it for the Vine. I don't remember.
Do it for the
Vine. Yeah. So, and you know what's really going to be sad is that all these companies are going to rush to pull out these foldable devices. They're going to be terrible. And like 3 years from now, when the foldable screen technology gets actually good, nobody's going to believe they work. And they're going to have a very hard time selling it on it. Because again, I absolutely believe there is value in a foldable phone. And a bunch of different form factors. There was a leaked video of someone, we talked about the Microsoft Duo device, which isn't one continuous screen. It's actually two separate screens, but still a foldable device. They showed somebody using one like out in public that someone just like they saw it and shot it on their phone. And it looked cool. And I'm like, all right, like I'm starting to get this, but like everyone's going to hate it.
Yep. It's a shame.
Yep.
It's happened before, Sean. It'll happen again.
It's very Samsung. It's very like Samsung either has to be first and have a terrible product or be last and have a terrible product. Like they're never just right.
Right.
Because I think about something like this where they're like ahead of the curve, and that's like Bixby, which I still don't know if that's a thing. Do you remember Bixby?
That was their chatbot, right?
Yeah, their Siri, their sort of voice, which was like way later than everyone else and never became anything.
Now, Microsoft shut down Cortana, right?
They
Cortana's not a thing anymore.
They did.
Dropping like flies.
Yeah. I mean, that is one thing I give Microsoft credit for, though, and it was the same with like Windows Phone and a few other things where they give it a shot, but if it doesn't work, they will
out.
They're just not going to drag it along forever like some of these companies. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And they're more aggressive about that now than they used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
I pulled up, what was I looking at the other day where I saw, I think, I don't know if it was like an old magazine or something I was looking at, and it was like from 10 years ago or something, and it was like all like Windows Phone was all over it, and it like had like Nokia, one of the best gadget, the Nokia, the big Nokia Windows Phone that they came out with like the huge camera in it at the time. It's like, oh my God, best gadget of the year and all this. And I was like, oh man, Windows Phone.
Windows Phone.
We hardly knew ye.
Didn't a friend of the show, Phil, have a Windows Phone at one point?
I think he did. I still rep for my Zune HD, man. That thing was awesome.
Yeah, people say that.
That was a good device.
Good device.
If only Windows Media Player wasn't such hot garbage.
Yeah. I remember when I got an iPod, my first iPod. It was a game changer. I used to walk around with a CD player before that.
Yep. I remember when I got my iPod with video. And I like ripped a bunch of stuff off YouTube and put it on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Little did we know.
Yeah, come to think of it.
Wow.
How time flies. Let's see. Is there anything else in these stories we want to... we've got on-site repair for Apple, car key, an app to share your streaming service passwords.
What's this streaming app thing?
Yeah, again, not a story we usually cover, but I saw it and I said, oh, that's kind of a neat idea. It just came out. It's actually in limited beta now, but it's kind of a cool idea. It's called Jam. And it is a questionably legal service in private beta as of this week. Essentially, it'll let users save login details for streaming services with local encryption. You can then add friends you authorize to access the password, and you can actually then track who has access to your accounts and broadcast to friends which subscriptions you have space for. Let's see here.
That's interesting. Now, interesting. I feel like this is going to get shut down like ASAP. Like, lawyers are already drawing up the papers to shut this down.
Well, according to this TechCrunch article, they reached out to a bunch of streaming services, didn't get any comments, but Spotify's terms of service specifically prohibit providing your password to any other person. Netflix's terms insist that the account owner should maintain control over the devices. Yeah. So, I mean, will this be a thing in 5 years? I don't think so. I'm just a fan of the idea. And that's, there are a lot of password storing apps, but I don't know if any have ever made it like crazy easy to share passwords like this.
Right.
And even with the ability to say like, I can have up to 4 people on my Netflix, but I only have 3 right now, to broadcast it.
Yeah. That's pretty specific. I think I feel like 1Password, for example, has like, if you have like a family plan, it's pretty like straightforward to like, you can have a shared vault. We have one at work too. Work uses 1Password, right. And we have like shared vaults with like internal logins for things or, whatever. That's an interesting idea though. Like in the age where everything is a subscription, like a subscription co-op of like you and your friends pool your money and you get all the services.
I mean, if we were still in college, I would like make all of us sign up for this immediately.
Oh yeah,
because that's really the situation. Because you're essentially, and that's what the company says is they're like, legally they have to say it, but they're like, what about family plans? What about streaming in the same household even, which is sort of covered
roommates.
by the terms of service. It's
right.
not just about people halfway across the country borrowing passwords.
True. Damn it. All right, I'll join their beta waitlist.
It's a cool idea. And frankly, because I'm the sucker in my family who pays for all the streaming services and everyone else uses my password, and the ability to like know who's actually using it and then to like reject them.
Shut it down.
Because every once in a while I'll get like, my brother will be like, yeah, my friend from college is still using your Netflix account. And I'm like, you graduated like 4 years ago.
He's not your friend anymore, Jason.
And then I threaten to change the password, and then I don't. But I actually have, and it's funny too, because I have 1Password that I use for all the streaming services that I don't use for anything else, so I can tell my family what the password is for everything, because they all use it. So
that's funny.
Yeah, so I like it. I think it's a cool idea.
Me too.
Outside the box.
Me too.
Let's see here. Do you want to talk about car key, or are you good?
We can. It's up to you. I don't have a car, so.
Well, maybe you'll want to get one once Apple introduces car key. Another one of those things that sneak around in a beta release that aren't a real thing yet. But in the first beta version of iOS 13.4, it contains a reference to a car key API, which will make it possible for to use the iPhone and the Apple Watch to unlock, lock, or start a car. Users will be able to use car key and NFC-compatible cards. They only need to hold the device near the vehicle to use it as a key. Now, what's interesting is it will not be necessary to authenticate with Face ID. This is similar to how it works with Express Transit cards. The reason for this is it will work even when the iPhone or Apple Watch runs out of battery.
Ooh, nice.
You can turn that off, the express mode off, and require Face ID. The pairing process will be done through the Wallet app, and then it will be necessary to have the car manufacturer's app to proceed with the setup. So they will have to work closely with the car manufacturers, which means this won't be available in a car for like 5 years until they actually get around to rolling it out.
Building it.
The other interesting thing is that car key can be shared with other people, such as family members. So is this a great idea and a good way to virtualize driving, or is this a terrible, insecure idea that nobody actually wants? You decide.
I feel like it could be more secure than your stupid car keys.
That's true. That's fair.
Right.
My key is I have a push button start. I don't even have a key to start my car. So
yeah, that's what I mean. And then there's like all those things you read about where they just like you're in a store and they boost the signal to your car and then they just get in your car and take your shit or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if your key is close enough to your car, it works, even if you're not at your car.
Right.
So
wow, that's cool. I have used in New York one of the subway stations that was near my old job. You could use Apple Pay to bop into the subway, and I set up the Express Transit thing, and you literally don't have to do anything. You just pop your phone on the tapper. It was dope.
Yeah, did it work well? Nice and quick?
Yeah, it was like I went up to the thing and I was like, this isn't gonna work. This is insane. But I just popped my phone in and I was like, whoop. Okay. And then I got charged $250 or whatever they charge.
I'm just getting distracted by everything tonight. The damn cat is just all over the microphone. As soon as I start the show, he just it's one of those things where it's like when Apple Pay first came out, we're like, there's no way this will work. There's no way it's secure. This isn't you don't pay with your phone, and then like now everyone does it. So yeah. I guess there's no reason to think this is any more or less secure than anything else. What's interesting is because, let me put it this way. What's great about having a push-button start, no-key car is that the key only really needs to be in your pocket for it to work.
Right.
If it happens that I have to, and I know this sounds so lazy, but if I have to pull my phone out of my pocket to unlock the car or start the car, to me that kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. And I don't know if the NFC in the phones are strong enough to, maybe they are. I honestly don't know.
Right.
But I don't think this really is like a great solution until that. Until you can just sit in your car with your phone in your pocket or your watch on your wrist and the car knows. And
yeah, I feel like it's kind of convenient for the like family member thing, right? If there's some secondary person you want to give access to your car, like, okay, it's not as convenient as it might be for you, but you can still do it, and maybe you could even do it remotely. I don't know. But for day to day. I see what you're saying. And
actually, that is, you're like, how secure is it? Like, I can unlock my car from my phone now using my car company's app, like from anywhere in the world.
Over the internet.
So I guess NFC is probably more secure. But it does say in this, in the sort of language in this beta, to use car key, hold iPhone or Apple Watch to reader. So I guess you do have to actually hold it up to the car itself.
The tapper.
But this would be great for, like, car sharing services.
That's true. Zipcar.
Yeah.
That's basically what you do with Zipcar. You, like, ploop your card on the thing. Maybe you use your phone now. I don't know. I haven't Zipcar'd in a long time.
Yeah, to be able to just do it integrated right into the car.
Yeah. You can do a lot of stuff like that from phones. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff doesn't, but you can.
Man, these phones I think they're really going to take off someday. I really think they're going to do something.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. They do a lot of cool stuff.
The future.
The future is phones.
The devices.
Ruining our lives. All All right, well, let's wrap up the news and move over to picks. It's the part of the show where we just bring something we want to share with the world we've been enjoying. And boy, do we have some great picks this week. I'm going to go ahead and go first. And I'm just going to broadly pick Chewy.com, which is a pet supply website where you order pet supplies. I was kind of hesitant to like it at first because I was like, I'm trying not to buy as much through Amazon, and I'm going to go to the local pet store and I'm going to buy stuff. And then I realized, like, bags of cat litter are 40 pounds each. And I've never felt as guilty for a UPS or FedEx delivery man until I buy 3 40-pound bags of cat litter and they have to put them on my stoop in front of my house. I honestly, there was one time where I happened to be home when they delivered it, and the guy parked on the other side of the street because he didn't. Now they actually back into my driveway all the way up to my door. But he was across and like lugging them across the street and up my driveway. And I went out and I grabbed one out of his truck for him because I'm like, I'm not going to make you carry these. I felt terrible. But I will say about Chewy is that they're owned by PetSmart, but the prices are very reasonable. It's free. They say 2-day shipping with a minimum. I think the minimum order is like $39, but I actually get stuff in like 1 day. The shipping is super fast. And what I really love about them is genuinely their customer service is off the charts good. I did order some cat litter the other day, and I ordered some treats with it in like a plastic container. But they did that stupid shipping thing where they put the plastic container in the same box as a 40-pound bag, which immediately demolished the plastic thing full of treats, and there were treats everywhere. And so I called them, and I was like, this was yesterday. This was yesterday. I called them and I said, hey, I got the litter. And they go, all right, well, we'll send you another one. No problem. It got here today, the next day.
Damn.
Like, it was really impressive. There's another thing where they don't do it on all items, but if your item is like of a certain size or certain price and you want to return it, like I bought 2 cat carriers because I didn't know which one I would like, and I kept one. I was going to return the other. They were like, oh, just keep it. You don't have to send it back to us. Just keep it or donate it. Not worth it to send it. It was like a $50 carrier. They're like, no, just keep it. We'll refund your money. Just keep it. I'm like, okay. I mean, they're genuinely very nice. So, so if you have a pet and are looking for pet supplies, give them a shot. I order a giant thing of food every once a month or whatever for the stupid cat. And they're great to order from. So, Chewy, I recommend it. Believe the hype.
Yeah. One time, a friend of mine ordered a graphics card, a very expensive graphics card for a computer off of Amazon, and they accidentally sent him 2.
Oh, yeah. And legally, you get to keep that. That is one of my favorite laws on the books, period, is if a company sends you something you didn't order, you get to keep it.
You don't usually win, but in this case.
That's the one time you get it. And I've done that before where I will call Amazon, and I'll be like, you sent me the wrong thing. I'm keeping it, but I am calling to let you know you sent me the wrong thing. And they're like,
just so you know.
Can't argue with you. You're right. I know this was a couple of years ago, but there was a woman who ordered an iPad and they like sent her 10, Best Buy sent her like 10 by mistake. And it was like a big thing because it wasn't, obviously that's very expensive. And they got into like a big fight where Best Buy was like genuinely gonna like take this woman to court and like try and fight to get the iPad. And I think they eventually settled on some gift cards or something. But they were like, this was like the one case they were not gonna let go. And they're like, no, we'll legally sue you to get those iPads back.
Yeah, I guess that's like $10,000 probably.
Yeah, it was a lot. And so I can't blame them. But it must be nice to be that lady.
Yeah.
Colby,
yeah,
what you watching?
Yeah, so the other day I was perusing the HBO app. I was cruising for some content, and I saw that the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm has begun to air. And I never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm before. I decided I would try the new season. I just started with the new season because I just wanted something to put on. It's pretty funny. I enjoy it. I don't know. It's just about a guy who's terrible and cranky and terrible to everyone, I guess is the gist of it. Like I describe
it as cringe comedy. A little bit.
Yeah, it's a little right, definitely cringy often. Um, but it's pretty enjoyable. I
Yeah,
like it.
Larry David's
That's all I'll
great.
say. Yeah.
Actually, the whole cast is really good.
I watched a couple episodes at the beginning, but I was like, I'll just watch the new one, the new season, and maybe I'll go back later. But there are some famous people in it. Ted Danson's in it. Larry David's in it. I
Jeff
feel like all
Garlin.
the other. Yep. Yep.
A lot of great folks.
Yeah.
The a couple years ago, before it was revived, because now there's been 10 seasons, I watched like the first 3 or 4 seasons of the show, and it just kept getting more. I don't know how it is now because I haven't seen the new ones, but it got more and more ridiculous and cringy, and like kind of like The Office did this too, where it's like how insane of situation can this character find himself in each time?
Yeah.
And it literally got to the point where I had to stop watching because it just got, to me, so unbelievable that like no one is this stupid. I'm trying to remember what episode it was. That there was an episode, I think, where Larry David was at some fancy agent event in Hollywood or something like that, and he goes into a bathroom, and then like he gets a phone, and like through a weird series of events, some executive comes in, and it sounds like he's having sex with a child in the bathroom. You know, in that Larry, in that Curb way where it's like a bunch of shit all comes together at once,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
just like so insane. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is too far. Like, this isn't a thing.
Yeah.
And I had to turn it off. So I really should check out the new seasons and see how they are.
I've enjoyed the new season so far. I feel like it's been like topical and funny. There's definitely some of that. Like I just watched an episode before this, and there was definitely like some of that. Like all these 5 ridiculous things happen to produce like one grand ridiculous thing at the end. But like I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's bingeable though. I feel like I can only watch one episode.
No, don't
Yeah.
binge it. Would be my recommendation. Enjoy it slowly, because you will get sick if you imbibe too many of them.
It's very rich.
Oh yeah, it is. But a great show. So check it out. You got to use your HBO subscription. I got to fire mine back up because I'm very excited. Did you watch the first episodes of the McMillions documentary that they're doing?
No, I just added it to my queue today. They've been advertising that for so long. Like, oh my God, did someone scam the McDonald's Monopoly game? I had no idea.
I'm very excited, but I am going to wait until they're all done, and then I'm going to binge it. But it's a great story.
Yeah.
And so...
I feel like you're the person I heard about that from.
Probably.
Before
Probably.
HBO. Yeah.
It's just I just love weird crap like that. So I'm glad they made it into a documentary series. So I will look forward to that.
Nice.
All right. Well, Colby, that just about does it for us here this evening. Before I tell the folks at home about what we're about, I do want to share what Up for Debate is about, because we are in the middle of our... Matt told me he told a friend of his father's about the show who was going to listen to it, and he thought we were a sports show because for the last couple of weeks we've been talking about sports. And I said, boy, is he going to be disappointed when he finds out what we're actually about. No, the episode up on the feed right now is we recap Super Bowl 54. Did you enjoy the Super Bowl, Colby?
Yeah, it was fine. I enjoyed J-Lo and Shakira.
It was a good show.
It was a good halftime show. Yeah, way better than Justin Timberlake last year.
Agreed.
Let's be honest.
Did you enjoy them killing off Mr. Peanut?
That was lame.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah, they didn't kill him off at all.
No, they just made him a baby, which I felt like you could have done without killing him. But
right.
Again,
Definitely.
What do I know? I'm just in marketing. So we recap that and reveal the results of our prop bet. Spoiler alert, I lose again. But I do want to tell everybody, you got to check out this coming week's episode, because Matt and I, you may know, last year, 2 years ago, we did a big XFL series about the original run of the XFL. Well, Matt and I watched the first 4 games of the XFL this past weekend, and we're going to talk about them. The rules, the players, the teams. We're doing a big XFL episode.
I forgot about the XFL.
So did most people. And No,
I
actually,
did see a commercial
the
at
ratings
some
weren't terrible.
point, and
I
I
will
was like,
say,
"Oh, the XFL, I should watch."
my sort of high level takeaway, I'll preview it here, and you got to listen to the episode to hear my detailed thoughts. Genuinely, 100% real. I honestly believe I have seen the future of football in the XFL. Now, will it actually be the XFL, or will the NFL just take all the good ideas and run with it? That's probably what will happen. But 20 years from now, we will look back at this XFL and say, they really did develop the football of the future.
Groundbreaking.
Really, I genuinely felt that way watching it. I said, they have really thought this through.
Who's your team, Sean?
That's another great thing is I have to pick one. Matt has officially called himself for the New York Guardians. I think based on week one, I'm probably going to go with my old hometown, the Houston Roughnecks. I think are probably going to be my team in the league.
Nice. Is there a New England team?
The most northern is the New York Guardians. The DC Defenders was probably my second choice.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check this out this week.
Change. It's if you got nothing, it's one of those things where it's like if you have something to do, like go do that instead. But if you have nothing to do, then there are worse ways to pass the time. So check that out over at upfordebate.tv or wherever you get podcasts. That'll be coming up soon. For this show, don'tpanic.io is our website. You should go there and get all the episodes, as well as links to the picks. If you can't remember Chewy.com and HBO, you can go get the links on the website. You can, of course, subscribe to the show wherever you get podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Spotify, Overcast, we're everywhere. You can also get the video version on YouTube to see Colby's giant can of cheese. And, of course, you can follow us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter or email us don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. But that's going to do it for this week. We'll be back next time, maybe with Dan, maybe without Dan. Who knows? Knowing Dan, I don't even think Dan knows. But regardless of who is there, on behalf of Colby, I'm Sean. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time for another Don't Panic.